may know, we've visited with several of our older members so far for the Elderly Month, and we just had some great conversations. And part of the idea of these visits is to get recorded and have articles about our elder-rich community here, and the perspective and wisdom and the experience and the faith of our older members. So.
What makes us tick.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So part of what and you and I are actually talking on the phone a little bit about this, about how you feel like you sort of got your faith in large part from your mom, but part of what we ask people is like, how did you come to have your faith, and what has it meant to you through your life, and what does it mean to you now?
Well, I've told some people here about how my father didn't think it was necessary for us to go to church. I mean, his folks were church people, and of course my mom was. But Dad said that there was work to do on the farm, and we needed help do it. Yeah, we learned to work, first of all. But now in the summertime, some friends of Mom and Dad's from Orford, they went to this little Baptist church on what was called Atwell Hill. And the road that we lived on connected 25C with, what'd you call it?
25A?
25A. And the schoolhouse was about halfway between. A little one-room schoolhouse. We had an outhouse with the girls on one side and the boys on the other. And a woodshed was added onto the classroom. It was one classroom for 8 grades.
Wow.
And the year that they decided to close it, I think there were 13 kids. Well, there were going to be 13 in the fall.
Wow.
So they shut us down, and we had to go to Pike. And because they asked my father, nobody else wanted to drive on our road. And of course, we were the main kids that lived on the road. We lived there year round, and some of the other people that lived there in the summer weren't there in the winter. But this friend of, well, he was a minister, of friends that Mom and Dad were friends with over on the Orford Road. And he came to the house one day and wanted to know if we would like to join some kids for vacation Bible school. And Mom looked at our faces, and Dad said, didn't think they had time. He had work for them to do. And Mom looked at us kids, and I looked at Dad, and the minister, he said, I think the kids would outvote everybody here if we let them. Dad says, well, they got to learn to work too. But Mom said, I think it's a wonderful idea. She said, they don't do anything. We went barefoot all summer. And like I say, that one-room schoolhouse, one or, whoever the oldest boy was available, had to go down to the next house at the top of the hill. That hill went down all the way to the Orford Road. And we had a little old Swedish guy with a Model A Roadster that, because he didn't like that hill, he would go down through Warren and Wentworth and 25A back up the hill for the people that lived on the hill. And of course, it was always around morning recess time. And we kids would be flying down there on our sleds we had 15-minute recesses, morning and one in the afternoon. And that poor guy. It's a wonder we didn't scare him for fright. But, because he'd come to the school and knock on the door and tell the teacher, you've got to do something about those kids, they're going to get killed. But,
You made it through.
yeah, there were like I say, 13 kids. There was 3 kids in my class.
And one teacher?
Tell me, yeah, one teacher.
Wow.
And I don't know what the deal was. I don't remember that part of it. Probably none of my business. We got kids were told that, you know, if we were listening in on stuff that was not kid stuff. But Dad, no, that house was there when my father's uncle bought the farm for us. That's how they got started. And his brother needed a place to stay, and I don't know, he had 5 or 6 kids. And so Dad told him that, you know, if he wanted to help do some of the work around the farm and all, that they could stay there, but I don't know. I heard through keeping my ears open in conversations that his brother's kids were playing with matches in the barn. And we had some of our winter hay stored there, and we had a couple of nice pigs we were going to have for Thanksgiving. And when I ever got home and found out that the barn burned and the pigs were in it, I always had a soft heart for the animals. But
I think you still do.
But of course, living way out there, the fire trucks couldn't get there in time.
Yeah.
But the oldest cousin used to pee his pants. And the teacher, unlike today, she used to make us go up to the blackboard at the front of the room and redo our nighttime homework. And 9 times out of 10, that fella would pee his pants, and she'd tell me I had to clean it up.
Tough stuff.
Oh, so many times it rolled in my head, but I managed to hang on. I wanted to say, that's not my job.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I don't remember to this day. I think it might have been one of those times when I said no. What did you say? And she had, it was the dunce chair.
Oh.
Up on that side of the room.
Uh-huh.
She told me she thought I needed to sit in that chair until she told me I could leave. I said, what if my dad comes and wants us to go home? She said, in that chair now. Well, I guess she's getting a little agitated, so I went. But I sat there and I kept those kids laughing the whole time. I didn't have to sit in the dunce chair again.
Were you the oldest? Were you the oldest kid in your family?
No, I had a brother. But you know, to this day, I think a lot about it, and it's almost like he was our brother, but it didn't seem like we played together or interacted that much.
He was he a lot older than you?
Only 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandmother thought the sun rose and set him. Maybe that was it, I don't know. My mom didn't really care for her dad's mother. I didn't either. Mom was making donuts one day when she came by, she'd roll them out on the kitchen table,
Mm.
fry them in a big old fry pan.
Yeah, I remember that when I was a kid.
Oof.
And Graham came. I don't know now what she come for, because what went down after that was enough to sink a battleship.
Oh, jeez.
And I was helping Mom. I mean, Mom said I was. And Graham decided to get between me and my mother. And she stepped on my foot. And I pulled it away. And she told my mother that I kicked her. Well, aren't you going to do something about it? She's not going to learn that way. So Mom took my hand and we went out to the woodshed. Mom said, "Did you kick her? You need to say you're sorry." I said, "No, I don't, Mom." I said, "I did not kick her. She stepped on my foot." "Well, you better say you're sorry." So she takes me back in, and I just stood there, and Mom held my hand, and she said, "Tell Grammy you're sorry." I said, "No." Mom took me back out to the woodshed 5 times, but I did not. Graham decided she didn't want to stay there any longer because Mom didn't make me mind. So she left. And then Mom and I had very serious talk. And I said, "Mom, you've always told us kids not to lie." I said, "I did not step on her. I did not kick her. And I got 5 whippings for it." And Mom apologized to me, and oh, I felt important. I was just a little kid, and Mom said she was sorry, and I was the one that goes, "Oh." And that's just one step in the many that made me grow up early. I used to have to rock the little kids while my mom fixed supper. She had a beautiful old-fashioned rocking chair. And I'd sit down in the chair and she'd put the babies in my lap. And I'd sit there and rock while Mom was fixing supper.
So you had 2 siblings younger than you?
No, I had the oldest brother and then me. 1, 2, and 4.
4, wow.
You know,
And so you were the oldest girl, which meant you you took care of the younger kids.
This is how I remember it. My oldest brother was 4 years older than me. And then there was me and my brother Reg and my brother Bill and my sister and my brother Dave. And my mother got my name out of the book of names, and she said it was God's gift. In the list of names and what each name meant and all. So yeah, I got my attachment early. But there's a story with that too. When I was ready to be born, my mother had died. She died, I guess, taking care of her stepfather. And he got pneumonia. Mom was taking care of him and stuff. But the doctor stopped in when I was close to time. He was on his way to the train station, and he wanted to check Mom out. And he said she was okay, everything looked all right, and if she needed anybody before he got back, he said he'd stop on the way back through, going by the house. He lived in Warren. And the farm at that time was in Wentworth. And he said if Mom needed any help, the midwife lived about a half a mile down the road. Well, it was snowing,
Oh.
old-fashioned snowstorm. And I was going to say I don't remember. No, I don't. But I'm thinking he probably had one of the first cars in the town. But Dad didn't have a car, so he had to go hitch up the horses. Because the doctor hadn't been gone more than 10, 15 minutes when Mom told Dad needed to hitch the horses. And so he was young and scared him to death. But yeah, he went and hitched up the buggy and Mom got ready. And the doctor said there was a midwife about halfway down the road, so we went down there and it was snowing hard. Of course, I didn't know it at that time, but Mom told me. And when, I guess the way Mom talked, it happened almost as soon as she got there. And the midwife wrapped me up in towels. Put me in a cardboard box behind the kitchen stove where it was warm. But I made it.
Yeah.
Mom said I was blue halfway down, so I was suffering lack of oxygen somehow.
Right.
But that man up there, he was there for me then, and he's still there.
He had other plans.
Amen.
He had other plans.
But the doctor was some kind of upset when he got back, because he did. He stopped in, checked Mom out, and said she was okay to go home.
What do you think, since you sort of started with the name that says God's gift, and you only came into the world with God's help?
Right.
What do you think how do you think your faith has sort of kept you going through your life as you got to be an
I wouldn't be
adult?
here without it. No. I mean, we had ups and downs, and when we went berry picking, we'd go berry picking in the summer while Dad was mowing or doing the hand scythe cutting and all.
Right.
And we'd go down to the wood lot where they cut off logs, and the berry bushes grow in where they cut off the logs and the brush piles and stuff. So we'd go down there and pick berries and come home, and I always had something to do. In fact, Dad didn't want us to go to vacation Bible school, but Mom says they don't do anything else. She says, I think it would do them good. We had to walk 2 miles barefoot because we didn't wear shoes in the summer.
Summer, yeah. That's true for my mom's family too. I think that's pretty common. Didn't want to waste the shoe leather.
That's right.
Right.
But no,
Was that the first time that you got a chance to go to church? Was Vacation Bible School?
I would say yeah.
Yeah. And you were like in elementary school then, probably?
Oh golly, yeah. I mean, only I'm going to say 2nd or 3rd grade.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
Was it at that little Baptist church?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, I remember that, and I mean, makes my heart patter now because it was fun. It was nice. 2 miles we had to walk each way.
But it was worth the walk, huh?
Oh, I loved every minute. My brothers did too.
That's great.
Getting away from the farm and work.
Do you remember the first time you could attend worship services? Was it while you were a kid or was it much later?
On a regular basis, it was here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I taught Sunday school for 12 years.
What grade did you teach?
3rd grade.
3rd grade.
Ed Riley was the superintendent at that time.
Right.
He was a nice fella. Nice.
When did you start coming here?
I got here in January of '57.
So wow, so you were So many of the people we've talked to talked about the 50s and the 60s, and I got here in the 70s, and how full the church was then, and all the kids and.
Madeline Rogers, I don't know if you remember her or not, lived on Church Street.
Huh.
Her husband ran a garage where the garage is now.
Rogers Garage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the name.
Leslie Rogers.
Huh.
His wife was Madeline. Nice people. They bought a camp that my father built for an uncle that I've always been told he buried a bunch of money down by the Bog Brook. That would be the foot of Piedmont Mountain.
Huh.
And he came back with the idea that he could go and find it, I guess. And he wanted to know if we had any place where he could stay. And he didn't want to stay in the same house with all those kids. He was no bachelor. And so Dad says, well, he said, we can build you a camp down there. Oh, he said, that would be nice. So they built a camp, and it ended up, after a while, several years, he moved on, and Leslie Rogers bought it for a hunting camp.
Wow, isn't that something? What a coincidence.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how we met the Rogers.
So that's how you ended up coming here, was through that connection?
Yeah.
Yeah, neat. How old were your kids then? Were they still?
My kids?
Yeah, when you started here.
Well, 57, let me see, when did we start? I was married in 54. Hoppy was born in 55.
Oh wow, so you were little.
And then his father went overseas because he tried to enlist before I met him. I don't know, 4 or 5 times. And they wouldn't take him because he had rheumatic fever when he was a kid and left him with a heart murmur.
Right.
So they wouldn't take him.
Right.
And so he thought, you know, when we got married that we wouldn't have to worry about it. Well, we had no more set the date than he got his draft notice. And he told them what the situation was, and they said, well, if we could rush the wedding plans along a little bit, they would okay it. But of course he had to settle his life down there. We met him because after the accident we had, I lost a brother and sister in. Dad said it wasn't a good idea to be home at Christmas time the next year. So we sold off all the animals and turned off all the water and electric. We started out, by the way, with kerosene lamps and lantern.
Wow.
Dad worried about the lantern. We kids weren't allowed to use the lantern.
Because of fire.
Yeah.
Right.
But he thought it would be better if we weren't home at Christmas time the next year. Because he was off hunting with my nephew instead of being home with his family. His nephew was in the Air Force, and he only had a short time, you know, a couple of weeks or something like that at home for Christmas. So my brother Reg was in high school. He went over to Bradford, Vermont to high school.
Sounds right.
And he hadn't done any Christmas shopping, so he wanted to go Christmas shopping. Mom was in the kitchen, flour up to her shoulders, cooking for Christmas dinner the next day. And he asked her if she would go Christmas shopping with him. And she said, well, how do you propose to do that? And she said Dad had gone, taken a car. And he said, well, we kids could stay home and he and Mom would go. Mom said no. She said, I can't do that, it's Christmas time. She said, if she goes, she said, we all go. So my brother went out and got we call it a jump seat. It was kind of leather covered. Well, it wasn't more than that big. That Dad used to put in the van they used for a school bus. And my brother threw that in the back of the dump truck. And my brother and sister that were killed were in the back in that jump seat. And we went to Bradford and did all of his shopping, and we were headed home. And some guy in front of us, I heard about it all later because I didn't know. I did know that this car in front of us kept starting and stopping. And they said he was looking for a job. And there were 6 people in that car. Several of them were kids. And so when we got up on top of the hill, south of the village of Bradford, there were supposedly a straightaway. But the way the road was built, and it was snowing, never saw that car coming toward us until it was too late, and my brother pulled the truck in to avoid hitting that car head on.
Right.
And of course the rear
Through
door
the kids.
went over the rear wheel on the car. And the old ladies stood up in court and said they could have stopped but didn't because they had the right of way. Ugh, I'm sorry, I've not gotten over it.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got a new car and $2,000 when we went to court.
Wow.
And we lost 2 kids. But later on, I got a chance, thank you, to behave myself. That woman, I'm sorry, I can't forgive her. She could have stopped, but didn't because she had the right of way. And she said that in court, and they gave her a new car and $2,000. But what I was trying to say was, later on, after I married the guy in the pictures, was my second husband, we were living in Piermont, that's where his place was, and went to the post office to pick up his mail, and that woman pulled in right after we parked, and when she came out, her car wouldn't start. So she wanted my husband to help her start her car. I had an awful hard time saying, start it yourself, but I didn't. I could feel God's hands on my shoulder. But no, I just sat there. I wouldn't look at her. She's dead now. And I'm not joyful about it, but she died of cancer.
You said on the phone when we were talking that you think it was your mom's faith that really sort of got her through losing her kids.
Absolutely.
It was so hard. Must have been so hard.
But she didn't ever want to talk about it.
I can imagine.
And I know she was on her knees a lot more than anybody knew because she was hurt real bad, and the doctors said that they had scheduled surgery for her in the morning, and she said, I beg to differ. And it was in Hanover Hospital. And I don't know if you know the hospital, but they had this big room with a big fireplace in the middle of it, and the beds all around the wall.
Wow.
I don't know whether there was 8, 9, maybe 10 beds
Goodness gracious.
in that big room. And Mom's bed was just inside the entrance door. And there was 1, 2, 3, and mine, I was in the 4th bed, going round the right, and then there was another one, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the other wall. But, no, she said she just lost 2 kids, and she would not be there tomorrow morning. She was going home and get ready for the funeral. And another doctor told her that, no, she couldn't do that. She said, she looked at the first guy, and she said, will you tell him I won't be here? My father came shortly thereafter and took her home. And of course she was, bandages all over the place. And I didn't know at that time how bad I was hurt, because they made me do everything, movements, by myself. And so I figured, you know, if I can do that, I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wanted to go home with Mom when Mom went, and they said, oh no, you can't. I said, Mom, tell him. And I guess they told her then that I had, I think it was 3 broken vertebrae and a bone chip that was chafing on the kidney. So they wouldn't help me move, and that was why. I didn't know it at the time, but that was why they wouldn't let me move. Afraid that splinter would hold my kidney.
Absolutely. So you didn't.
They didn't know what he knew.
That's well.
So you didn't get to go to the service, probably, right?
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
But Mom had to come back as soon as the funeral was over.
Yeah. Wow. What a time.
And of course, my brother that was driving the truck, poor guy, he was in the hospital 6 or 8 weeks, in traction and everything else. And the door, because the truck somersaulted when that woman hit him on the driver's side. And of course, kids that were killed were in the back. And
Wow.
What a mess.
Yeah, it's quite something to start your life with, huh?
Gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah. Been a lot to carry through all these years.
Say what?
It's been a lot to carry through all these years as a memory, as an experience.
That guy up there has been for me every minute.
Yeah, I know. That's something, huh?
When, well, it was after my kids were born, because I didn't want any more kids, and I changed doctors. And Dr. Black, I went to him. Oh, Doc, he says, you got 5 kids, you don't need any more. I jumped right out of the chair, and so he stood up, I'm getting big bear hug. I said, I've been waiting for somebody to agree with me.
He was a great guy.
Right, he gave me a hysterectomy, but got one of those hospital infections before I went home. And I didn't feel good, but I didn't know why, and I thought, well, I just had surgery and stuff, and about a week I suffered with it, and I was getting weaker and all the time, and I got the kids' supper, and I don't know, like I said, I was just not feeling good at all, and I told the kids, I said, I'm going to bed. I said, if you need anything, go down the street and see Archie Tasca Project. That was Jeannie's brother's wife.
Right.
Wow.
And she was a nurse. And so, because I went to bed without supper, as soon as I went to bed, one of the kids ran down and asked Archie if she would come up and sit with me, find out what was wrong. I didn't want to scare those little kids. I didn't know what to tell them anyway. But she wanted to know where the phone was. She wanted to call the doctor, and I'm thinking to myself, oh God, I'm in trouble now. But the doctor said, you know, from whatever she told him, because I didn't hear that, if she could stay with me, that would be a big help. But she didn't really want to do that, and I told her, I said, you don't have to babysit me. I said, I'll be okay. I said, it just don't feel good. And she said, well, the doctor said if I could make it okay with her watching over me, that he wanted her to bring me in first thing in the morning.
Did you have to go back in the hospital?
So when I got to the hospital, there was 6 damn doctors sitting there waiting for me. And my primary care guy was there. And I said, come on, give me a break. I said, do you think this is fair?
Jeez.
And then they started taking turns, poking me in the stomach, and oh man, that hurt enough to want to throw up every time they touched me. And about, well, the third one was ready to take his turn. I said, enough already. I said, you guys have had a lot of training for the title you've got. I said, if you can't talk to these 2 and believe what he says, I said, I'm out of here. So then all hell broke loose, as they say. One of the doctors called for the nurse to come in, and she was to contact this one, this one, this one. And, well, I think I might have told you at one time how it went so quickly that I felt myself banging up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I couldn't see knock a hole in there. And then I heard the kids. And I'm up there banging on the ceiling, and I see those 5 kids lying up beside my bed. And then, like I say, I'm trying to get out a hole in the ceiling, but it didn't work that way. And the nurse come along and took my kids out to the waiting room. And they had a stretcher there for me waiting. And then the nurse said, we have to take you to the exam room. And I know it wasn't very long before I passed out, and when I come to, I had IVs in both arms.
Probably like sepsis or something like that.
I wanted to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody would break a hole and let me go.
And you're still here.
Yeah.
All these years later.
But that guy never left me.